everyone. I wanted to give you a little bit of an outline about how to use Google Meet today, and in particular, how to create meetings in Google Meets for your students without students being able to enter without a teacher present. Because that was one of the biggest learning pieces for me. I don't want my students to be in a meeting without me, and so I want to be able to make sure that I've set it up so that they can't get in before I get in. So if I'm in my normal Google account, and I go to Google Meet. You could also go to meet.google.com. It's going to bring you to this screen. And right here, you can join or start a meeting. And so when you join a meeting, you don't want to continue a meeting. You actually don't want to actually schedule it through your Google Calendar. You want to create a meeting nickname. This is really important. You would just tell your students this nickname. So in this case, I'm going to call mine Schultz. And I'm going to go to continue. And then my meeting nickname is called Schultz. Now, sometimes people think they've gotten to this screen here and that the meeting has already started, but it isn't. Right now, I'm still getting everything ready. I'm not into this yet. I'm going to show you what it would look like on the student screen. The student screen here, if you see, says use a meeting code, because I don't have an address or anything like that. I don't want to give the students my address. I want them to have to type in Schultz and go to continue. But they're not allowed to create a meeting. So that Google's going to look at this and go, right now, this hasn't actually been started. They can't join this video call because there is no meeting called Schultz yet. But if I go back to here and go back to Chrome and now I join my meeting, once I've jumped in here, I've jumped into my meeting. I don't want to give my students this link here. If this were other people on staff, you could send them a link. That's no problem, or I could add people down from below. But in this case, I don't want to do that. I want students to use that. I want students to use that code. So if I go back to my student view, and now they use the code Schultz, continue. Now they're going to be able to jump into this room with me. Might take a couple seconds, and I press join now. And now all of a sudden we are in this room. So I'm gonna back out of here. I know I'm in my room now. I'm gonna back out, no problem. But because I have now created it in here, now students can get into it. And so then it's no problem. But so that's one way you could do this. And that way works really well. You just tell students the nickname. The other way to do that is through Google Classroom. So I've set up a test account on Google Classroom. This is my, I'll cancel this. I'm going to save my changes. When I go to my Google Classroom, this is my remote learning test class. I kind of test all my things I want to do. But if I go to my settings that are up here, I can add my Google Classroom, I can add Google Meets through my Google Classroom. And right down here, if I scroll through my settings, I go to Google Meet. All I do is I go visible to students, save. So now there is this link up here that goes to Google Classroom. One of the cool things about this is students this link will exist on their Google Classroom, but they can't get into it unless the teacher's there. Those are the two ways to create a meeting in Google Classroom that students can't get into before you. I would recommend not sending students links to meetings, because once you've created a normal link or something in your calendar, that means that meeting exists and they can get in there without you. So that would be my recommendation. Give that a try. If you've got any questions, make sure you let me know.